crazy about issue about obia can be. It's about a year issue about obia can be, which is a birthright citizenship ban, and also the immigration issue also our USA. I just want to take a few minutes to share my thoughts our near Ecosono. Recently, any day, your president, ABC, so I think the 47th president, you know, AC, so I in the person of President Donald J. Trump. And he has signed executive orders, a restricted Nyomabi. Into during the Biden era, no, Biden signed almost about 78 executive orders, and once our current and the new president came, no, he has undo all those 78. Now, 200% main count assembly. One is about the immigration issue, about deportation. Trump ama ICE, and the full meaning of ICE no is immigration custom enforcement. The I stand for immigration, the C stand for customs, and the E stand for enforcement. And you know, as some all can say, you won't go phobia or may risk to national security, and they are also a threat to public security. I didn't know Kasa, and as some all can say, also a minimum bar crew has said na yeah, there by the yeah, the echo back to a year or more. Some people came here, they were deported because of maybe their criminal records are not or more a war. But some of only be some they say almost saying ya a quenya nibium or more asaying back a crum has saying. And you know, faces uncle for no, they are a threat to national security, and they are also a threat to a public security. And those who has been ordered to be removed from the country, and I said those who were removed and they've re-entered no, yes, uncle for no teach you, and the focus is on them. And the deportation, as somehow can know, is not just the target, but anyone around the target. This I can say not only the target, but the target, not just the target, but anyone who is around the target. Not just say ABA, so will be a immigration issue. Nasa nipa kono court, nabia uko jano. Ana wotra kam na wo drive nimpa no na se ye che saa target na, then it propels them or it forces them to check up on you also as well. And you know, a situation a very alarming, a very serious. Recently Ohio Salaga market, it was raided and people were running helter-skelter. Very serious. Also, president will issue state of emergency. And when they issue state of emergency, which means the law enforcement, to be precise, the military can be deployed to those areas. And talking about the southern border, 1,500 military men have been deployed. Say, Omobe make sure, say, Omobe control the influx of people coming to the US without the proper channel. It's a very serious. ɛna near ɔmo ɛka no sɛ ebi mo wɔ hɔ a they were in the gang ɛwɔ I think Venezuela. Nti saa gang ni bi wɔ a they've infiltrated into the country, and being able to infiltrate into the country, they are causing harm. They are fighting the police officers. Some of them are stealing. Some of them are, targeting other people. So that is the main reason why here I say for no any abreno. Sani America no emrano ewo ho say be a say BBC and someone is arrested now, you should always remain silent until say when you're lawyer nasa lawyer no on omo akasa, because anything that you say can be used against you. And they're talking about like undocumented workers. I say obiano utumi eshe who say there are also immigration lawyers. They call them pro bono lawyers. Omono. They just help people with immigration issues without even taking money from you. This in America, 1,500 troops have been sent to the southern border to control the influx of people coming in. And also, their sanctuary cities are first, ICE did not have the chance to go to those sanctuary cities. Like a place like a church and also like a school. But now the new executive order being signed, or that has been signed, which I say they should use common sense, meaning say the ICE can go to a church or the ICE can go to a school to effect an arrest. Recently, there was a raid in New Jersey where some people were also arrested. And the one aspect of it is that sometimes, it's not all the people that have been rounded up, NIABR, they have an issue with documents, but it's just because being at the place at the wrong time when they were, arresting those people, you became one of them, and maybe you do not have also your document with you. Now it's the piece of advice, and say it's always appropriate to say when you are stepping out, make sure you have your ID with you or you have your passport with you. But say you have your ID with you, and maybe people are being rounded up, and you show your ID, and they see it, and it's very authentic now. There are people that also say no more be a friend of Peru. And it give you access to be able to travel near the idea, and when it has been cancelled. And then also another issue. There was also an app, and as our app, those from the southern border, then they can go to the app and put their information in as they or mobile internal app now any hobby we be na why very very careful. And also another thing as I about say the ICE have been giving the authority say they can also arrest people at the courthouse. And there are certain times that maybe you go to the courthouse, you go to the courthouse, or you have like an immigration issue, you go to the courthouse, but once you are leaving the courthouse, you can be rearrested by the ICE because they have the power to arrest people at the courthouse. And, try and do some little reading, read. There are more lawyers on YouTube, people are able to break it down for you to understand. Also, some people were also arrested, and I think 2 planes were sending people to Colombia, and I think the Colombia president did not agree for the flight to land. And so flight no air land there, they have to give them the green light You know, once they didn't give them the green land, the green light, you know, they couldn't land, and they have to return the plane. Because of that, you know, a year the U.S. president or the tariff at Colombian goods are by U.S. You know, they are going to pay almost about 25% tariff, and also yeah, at the and also no about America home. I say the next yeah, things are very, 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 very important. Just know, it's about birthright citizenship. You know, birthright citizenship. When you talk about birthright citizenship, and I just say obi okruma say na say owa automatically, you know, the child becomes a citizen by birth. We have citizenship by naturalization, and we have citizenship by birth. And you know, say obi if you could be so na ebi onyim obi du kruma say na say oba be wo a once oba be wo e US no automatically the child become a citizen. And so we are here it is enshrined in the constitution in the 14th, in the 14th amendment, is there that once you give birth here, the child become a citizen. And President Trump a blockade for 30 days internal, and then can say effect in February 19th, which is a month. But a year High Court judge, Eddie, I think a High Court judge here and a Federal Court judge or the temporary order to stop it. It cannot be enforced until say issue has been addressed. But listening to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he also gave a different explanation to the 14th Amendment, which is being enshrined in the Constitution. And also can be differently. If that law or that executive order that has been signed goes into law now, it's going to affect so many people. The people that are affected, I'm going to say, unless you say two partners, a man and a woman, one of them has a green card or a citizenship. I so know when the child is born here, so that child automatically becomes a citizen. Two parents, if one of them has a green card or a citizenship, it means when they give birth to their child automatically become a citizen. But if the two of them don't have documents, it means a child cannot become a citizen. But remember, near Omo Canon is not only about undocumented. The Yobi Hoa from they've gone out of status. It means people may be here with a valid visa for work. Your countries where they have the H-1B visa, they have different visas that give the opportunity to people to come to work in the US legally. So they are here legally. They are here lawfully, but not as a permanent resident or not as a citizen. Because of this executive order, even you've been given the right to work in the US, you have your social security number. Yes, till when you give birth, your child cannot become a citizen. You talk about diplomat. If you're a diplomat, also the same way, you are a diplomat, but you don't have a green card or you're not a citizen. Say, oh, won't be a citizen. And one thing that you have to understand is this birthright issue, is not only affecting only few countries like some of the African countries, but it's going to affect the European countries, because most of the Europeans, they have the right to come to the US at any time. And some of them, they come here with sometimes like work permits, or they are just here as a visitor. And once they give birth, their child or their children automatically become citizens. If this law progresses now, it means it's going to affect most of the Europeans. Let's talk about some of the African countries. Most of them comes here with a visa. So coming here with a visa, no, and no, it's a different ball game altogether. Yeah. Like I was also saying, this is enshrined in the Constitution. So it is something lawful. But according to the Florida governor, in the person of Governor Ron DeSantis, what he is arguing, say, is not about the people who are here legally without even the rightful document, but he is rather emphasizing on the people that cross the southern border, those who came here illegally, those who did not come through the rightful channel of obtaining a visa. He is rather emphasizing on those people. Say, if those people have been able to cross the southern border to come into the country, which there's a question mark on them, and they still come and give birth, and automatically their children become citizens of the country, that is what he's talking about. But guess what? Sir, issue way, this here, no, it has been, no, is, temporary block, no. It will proceed to the point that it will go to the Supreme Court. Then when it go to the Supreme Court, then the Supreme Court are now going to determine, or the Supreme Court are going to give an interpretation of the 14th Amendment. That the 14th Amendment, no, doesn't mean, say, anyone who is here and doesn't have a green card or a citizenship, no, their child cannot become a citizen. Or the Supreme Court is going to give an interpretation and say, if you come here with a visa, if you travel through the rightful channel and comes into the US in the rightful way, but you don't have a green card or a citizenship, no, when you give birth, no, does your child become a citizen? Or it is only those people who are coming through the southern border illegally, those who are coming with no visa, those who are coming with no passport, are they the people that the 14th Amendment is talking about? So, and remember, say, once it goes into the Supreme Court, which we have 9 Supreme Court judges. In the US, we have only 9 Supreme Court judges. Unlike any other different countries that they have like 20, 25, they have only 9. When the current president, Trump, was the 45th president, he had the opportunity to nominate 3 of the Supreme Court judges. So the Supreme Court judges, 9 of them, 3 of them were appointed by our current president in the person of President Donald J. Trump. So when you go to the formation now, 6 of them are psychologically leaning to Republicans, and 3 of them are also psychologically leaning towards a Democrat. And this one, it will go all the way to the Supreme Court, and once it goes into the Supreme Court, then the Supreme Court will give an interpretation of the law, because the Supreme Court is the highest body, is the highest court in the country, and they are to interpret what the Constitution says, not any other person. But yeah, woman say, for now, as we are speaking, there's a temporary block on it that it cannot proceed. It cannot proceed. That is the point. And we asam kakra ewo ho no message about the birthright citizenship and also the deportation issue, no. And no. Talking about the birthright, is something that has been enshrined in the Constitution. Birthright is enshrined in the Constitution, the 14th Amendment. But now this case will drag, and it will go to the Supreme Court. And once you go to the Supreme Court, Then the Supreme Court will give an interpretation of the 14th Amendment. So let's keep our fingers crossed. And the piece of advice is now, anytime you are moving out, anytime you are walking, make sure you walk with your passport. Make sure you walk and you also have your ID or you have your green card with you. And if something unexpected happen, you always have the right to remain silent. They've been given the chance. ICE, which is immigration custom enforcement, are given the opportunity that they can do what they can go to churches or they can go to a school. And the practical example I gave you is when people were raided in Ohio, the Salaga market, and New Jersey. And I think they are also in New York. So let's hope for the best. And it's also a piece of advice to people that, this is a country that has received you in good faith. So it is also your obligation to always try to do the right thing. There's no need for you to go to store to go and steal. There's no need for you to go to a departmental shop to go and do shoplifting. There's no need for you to go to a place to go and fight. There's no need for you to do what is not warranted. A country that has given you the opportunity for you also to have a good life. A country that has given you the opportunity that you can educate yourself. A country that has given you the opportunity that you can also contribute your quota towards the growth of the country. You have to look at it from the positive, right mental attitude. A country that has given you so much opportunity. A country that even without any educational background, you can get a job to do. There's a need for you also to do your best in supporting the growth of the country. It's a advice for Obia Utieme sa or Inia Bia or Sister Bia. Always know continue to pray for them. It's important to pray for them, and let's stick together as one family. Let's stick together as one body. And it is also right, say, when you go to New York website, there are some lawyers. They are pro bono lawyers that don't charge you anything, that they support people with immigration issue. So it's always good at this moment that you have to speak to a lawyer. Try as much as you can to speak to a lawyer. And if you have any question, you can ask the lawyer. And the lawyer who knows the laws, understands the law, and knows the Constitution will be able to explain things to you into details. It's very, very important. I don't want to bore you. I don't want to say so much. All what I came to say is just to let you know that be on your guard. Try and do the right thing. Don't do shoplifting. Don't go to any store. Don't fight nobody. Have the right positive mental attitude. And this of my piece of advice for you. I wish you safe. I wish you all the best. I'm keeping it for real. Remember, don't forget to subscribe. It's Legit Showbiz and your host, MC Osoja. Thank you.